Hello, my name is Mark Neal, and welcome to my show, Policing with a 420 Perspective. I'll explain a little more about the name in just a moment, but what I want to do is first thank you for tuning into this channel. I hope that you please will subscribe to it, and just want to be a part of what we've got going on. Policing with a 420 Perspective. It's kind of a play on words for me. I grew up in San Francisco, California, and I worked as a police officer. I've retired now, but I worked as a police officer and still continue to live in Colorado. So it's kind of my way of saying that I'm looking at policing from a full 360 degrees plus an enhanced, if you would, way of looking at things, drawing in as much as I can from the human side of things, understanding human beings, and being a student of humans and people in order to help police officers provide a better service, a better product to the community at large. This channel is supporting my company, Onyx Training Group. We do values-based, communications-based training for law enforcement and for private corporations. Some of our classes are how to get hired for people trying to get into law enforcement, prospective officers, how to get hired by an agency, information, tactical information and basic information for new officers, as well as cross-cultural communication, anti-bias policing strategies, just more communication-based courses. We offer online courses. If you look at our website, onyxtg.com, you'll find a list of our courses and also links through to our online courses. What my intent is with this channel is to provide kind of a forum, an exchange of information, ideas, answering questions, talking about situations, talking about events that have happened in policing. It's to provide information for the public so that you have a little bit more understanding of some of the concepts and principles that police officers work under. Some of the understanding of maybe tactics that they used in a situation, and just to give some more information to the public. It's also for police officers. Some police officers get varying amounts of training, and this can be an informal way for them to receive some training. The information I'm going to be presenting is from my experience, from my knowledge, from my education, but it's also from many other officers that I've come across over the last 25 years in policing. So it's not just my perspective, it's a lot of the best practices that have benefited officers all over the country in how to deal with people. As I say, a lot of times it's what to say to people and what not to say to people. And so I'm just kind of bringing this information together and being able to put it out through one channel for the community. A little bit about my background. Like I say, I grew up in San Francisco. Was born and raised there. Went to college in Utah, and then moved back to California after college. Moved to Colorado in 1992 and got into law enforcement. I was initially hired by a sheriff's office. I worked in a jail for 3 years. I then moved to a city agency where I worked for 17 years there. I was a member of our community policing unit where I rode bikes, and I also developed and put together, with the help of a lot of people, a lowrider van, police lowrider, that we used as a public relations tool, kind of an introduction with people. We used it for about 10 years, and we would take it to any kind of public event, parade, fair, car show, whatever it was, all throughout northern Colorado. in Colorado, basically, to just use it as a tool of introduction for people who might not be comfortable talking to a police officer who's just standing there by themselves. It's a great way to break the ice with some people, and led to friendships that I still have today. And that's been almost 20 years now. I was a member of my police department SWAT team for 15 years. I still continue to teach police advanced tactics around the country. And I was a team leader there on the team, and I was also an explosive breacher. I was a field training officer, meaning I was responsible for training new officers when they got hired and came on the street with our agency. And I'm going to try to compete with this saw going off in the background a little bit. You know, one of the biggest things that in my career that moved me as a police officer, motivated me as a police officer, was developing relationships with the public and with other officers. I felt that as an officer, I was the liaison between the community and understanding and acceptance of the laws that we need as a society in order to be able to function together. With all of our different beliefs, our perspectives, our backgrounds, we need to have a common set of kind of rules of understanding, you know, i.e. laws, that we can have so that everybody can kind of come together. They can experience themselves, and they can be themselves, and do the things that they need to do to grow and develop as their own people. But we also have to have some common understanding of what we can allow as a society and what we have to kind of more control or not allow. As we talk and go through some of these, talking about these concepts and some of these issues and situations, one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to have some discussion, debate, question and answer, some give and take. So I want to set some rules, some ground rules for that, and I'll post them also on the channel in the comment section to begin with. But the first and foremost is respect. Now, respect is, I believe, misunderstood by people today. When they talk about, you know, you earn respect, and you know, you have to, you know, get respect and all this stuff. Respect is given. I respect people. I respect everyone I come across to begin with. I freely give respect. They don't have to earn it for me. What they do is they maintain it, or they increase it, or they decrease it by their actions. So anybody I come across, I give them respect. It doesn't cost me anything. I'm not out anything. It doesn't make me look bad. It doesn't make me look weak. It doesn't make me look anything like that. I give a person respect. And that's what I would ask anybody who wants to participate in this channel, is that you give people that respect. Give anybody that you come across that respect. In your posts, to that end, no cursing in your posts. Please don't curse. You may have a fantastic idea, but once you start cursing, you're going to shut down a large percentage of people who might listen to that idea and might actually gain some benefit from it. And the only reason they aren't listening is because you're cursing. So my thing to you is, if you want to ask a question, you want to make a statement, you want to make a comment, put it all in there at the beginning, and then just proofread it before you hit send or click, you know, whatever, and take out the curse words and see if it still stands up as impactful as you need it to. I think it will, and you're gonna reach a lot more people. And about your posts, no negative posts. We've all seen that we can do negative. Everybody does negative all day, in the social media posts. Let's work on positive. So when you make a comment or have something positive. If you see a problem, you want to identify a problem, also come with a solution or two. Come with some possible options on how to correct that. Don't just, as I say, don't just do the scorched earth approach, If you're going to do that, you better be bringing some trees to plant. Start things growing again. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give short presentations on different topics. We'll talk about principles and concepts. We may talk about situations that have happened, current situations, general historical things that have happened, just to gain a frame of reference or a point of understanding on some things. I'm not going to call out individual officers and things for the most part. If there are some egregious situations happening, you'll know what they are. We'll talk about them. But my thing again is more to look at a situation that happened, see possibly some of the reasons why the officer might have gone down that road, or if we can know because of whether it's case information or it's public knowledge, why the officers took a certain road, and then talk about what are some of the other options that could have been exercised there, based on principles, based on police tactics, based on some other things, and but that's just maybe 5-10 minute segments like that. One of the biggest things for this, and I got no problem saying this, is that if you have real issues with my perspective, if you have real issues with my what I bring to the table in this, that's fine. I'm not upset about it or anything. But if you don't like it, don't comment and post and do the whole troll thing. Make your own channel. Go make your own channel, man. It's free on YouTube. Just have at it. Put out your stuff, whatever you want to put out. If it's good stuff and it makes sense to people, then you'll do great and be a success. And I wish the best for you. But what I'm doing is I'm putting out what means something to me. I'm trying to make things happen out here with this channel, with the community, with law enforcement. I'm a true believer in law enforcement. My father was a police officer. He was a corrections officer in California, in the DOC there, and he was a police officer in San Francisco. So I believe in police officers. I believe in law enforcement. What I don't believe in is I don't believe in people abusing the system. I don't believe in police officers being officious and abusing their authority. A veteran police officer once told me when I first started, he said, and I remembered this my entire career, he said, you have no more authority as a police officer to act than that which is given to you by a citizen by their actions. So in that is, you don't walk around being able to just write a ticket to somebody or arrest them, this, that, and that thing. They have to do something. And once they do something, depending on where it falls, if it's illegal, if it's an infraction, whatever, now you have the ability to interact with them in an official capacity. Otherwise, throughout your day as a police officer, you're just a citizen. You're just a citizen. You enjoy all the rights and all the privileges that any citizen does. You just have the ability, the authority to act in a certain capacity. And I remembered that my entire career. And there were some other bits of information given to me by veteran officers early in my career that I think really helped me to shape my approach to policing. And it's something that I still to this day try to impart when I teach class, whatever subject I'm teaching. I try to impart the human side of policing. So it's going to be a good time. I ask that you subscribe, to the channel. Stay tuned to it. We're going to be posting. I'm going to plan to post at least once a week, probably twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, depending on my schedule. But we're going to have a lot of engagement, and it's going to be some good information going back and forth. My goal is to bring in other people, other police officers, other people in the law enforcement field for informal interviews, question and answers, just to get a broad perspective. But the biggest thing that I think is is getting lost today is that police officers are members of our community. And I think that's being lost on both sides. I think that the community doesn't see police officers as members of the community in general, because they feel if they were members of the community, they wouldn't act the way we see them act in the news and in these different stories that we see on social media. And I think that police officers are getting to the point where they don't feel that they are part of the community, because community members are, generalizing and making these stereotypical generalizations about all cops are, insert your negative comment there. So I think that we have a disconnect on both sides, and part of why I've started my company and am doing this YouTube channel is to work on that disconnect, is to try to reconnect. So I thank you for watching and staying tuned for this long, and it's going to be a good time, and we're going to learn some things, and I just appreciate you being involved in it. Thank you.
So come on and tickety check yourself before you wreck yourself.